Hi everyone, in this video we will see that how we can abuse web view when user supplied input is not actually filtered or sanitized. So if you don't know about web view, so what is web view? A web view is just like a small browser in our application through which we can display the web content. So you can see here that there is one challenge or issue in Diva called as input validation issues part 2. So this issue is actually a typical case of a web view. So you can see here that in this activity there is one embedded web view, and here we have to add one URL. So if we enter any URL and if we click on view, then what happens is this application actually makes a contact with that URL and display the content over here. So what we have to do is, in our objective, we have to access a particular system files apart from accessing a URL. Or in another words, that apart from opening any website, we just have to simply fetch out the system internal files and we have to display it over here. So this is in the case where the user supplied input is actually not filtered or sanitized by the application. So before going further, let's talk about different protocols which are also being supported by browsers. So you can see here other protocols supported by browsers. So apart from HTTP, HTTPS, there are some protocols which are supported by browsers like FTP protocol, file protocol, through which we can access system internal files. This protocol we will use in this issue. Then another protocol is SMTP. Now let's see how we can abuse WebView in Diva.
Now let's have a look at another kind of input validation issues in Diva. So let me open Diva application, and here you can see there is one issue called as input validation issues part 2, and let me open that up. So the main objective of this challenge is that apart from a web URL, we have to access system internal files. So as I told you earlier that there are different protocols which are being supported by browsers like file protocol, FTP protocol, HTTP protocol. And if you are an Android developer, then you might have guessed that this application might contain embedded web view, which means it asking for a URL. And if I write here any URL, then what this application will do, this application will fetch or will make a contact with that URL and display that website over here. Now what we have to do is, apart from the HTTP protocol or apart from accessing any URL, we have to try that whether we can access or display any system internal files here or not. So let me go to my Santuku VM operating system and let's go inside ADB shell. So there is one file called as demo.txt, and that file is present inside SD card or the external storage of this Genymotion. So here you can see that right now we are inside MNT and SD card, and here is one file called as demo.txt. So now what I'm going to do here is I'll try to access this file by using file protocol, and here we have to give the path that is /mnt SD card followed by that file name that is demo.txt. And if I click on view, here you can see that we are successfully able to display or access that file. So this is the file content demo password which is present inside that file. So this is how an input validation issues occur in WebView, where the application end up by showing system internal files to the end user. So this is how we can abuse WebView in a one way. So in this video we talked about that what is input validation issues and how input validation issues can infect a WebView. So thanks for watching this video.